Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook, prediction and analysis. Let's go. All right, before I start this one, I want to let you guys know I did a prediction for the Devin Haney and Gamboa fight, and my prediction and analysis was 100% on point. You can watch that video on the channel to check me, make sure I'm telling the truth and everything. But all right, so let's look at this Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford fight, and let's talk about the analytics and see what's going to happen, and let's use that to determine who's going to be the victor in this fight. Okay, so when you look at the tail of the tape, Crawford is 33, Kell Brook is 34. I actually thought Kell Brook was a few more years older than Terrence Crawford. I didn't know Terrence Crawford was that old. I thought he was younger. All right, let's look at their record. Crawford is 36-0, and Brook is 32-9. He lost to Triple G, and he lost to Earl Spence. All right, we're going to come back to that. All right, Crawford has 27 KOs, and so does Kell Brook. The height, basically the height is the same. Kell Brook is 5'9", Crawford is 5'8". Reach goes to Crawford. Crawford has a decent amount of reach on him. Make sure you guys like this video. I appreciate it. Okay, so when we start to analyze this and figure out who's going to win this fight and what the outcome is going to be, it should be a no-brainer for everybody who really pays attention to boxing that Crawford is going to win this fight. I give Kell Brook absolutely no chance, not even a puncher's chance, because Crawford has shown he has a strong chin, and Brook hasn't knocked any top or elite fighters out. And Brook seems like he's not an elite fighter. He's probably above mid-tier, but he is definitely not an elite fighter. So this is going to be a convincing and somewhat easy fight for Crawford. I expect Crawford to dominate this fight. And I expect Kell Brook to put on a good showing early on in the fight. I expect him to last longer than Amir Khan did. Crawford KO'd Amir Khan in the 6th round, and I'm pretty sure Kell Brook has his mind set that he's going to last longer than Amir Khan because they got their feud, and he wants to show that he's better than Amir Khan. Make sure you guys like this video. So in this fight, what you're going to see is Crawford is going to get the KO. I was really debating on, that's the only debate in this fight, is Crawford going to knock out Brook or is it going to go the distance? And I'm going to tell you why I think Crawford is going to KO Kell Brook. For one, Earl Spence KO'd Kell Brook. And Terrence Crawford, you know, that's a fight with Errol Spence down the line that everybody wants to see, and he wants to show that he's better than him. So he's gonna put forth an effort to KO Kell Brook the same way that Errol Spence did. And I actually expect Kell Brook to be more prepared for this fight, because check out what happened in the Errol Spence fight. Kell Brook had just lost to Triple G in middleweight, which is at 160 pounds. He got KO'd by Triple G, and he got hurt bad. I think he broke his eye socket or something like that. So it was a damaging fight for Kell Brook. But the next fight, he fought Earl Spence, and he went down to welterweight, which is at 147. So in Triple G, Kell Brook was weighing 160. He went down, he skipped super welterweight, which is 154, and he went all the way down to 147 when he fought Earl Spence. And Earl Spence KO'd him. I think that was too big, too drastic of a weight change for him to go from middleweight at 160 to go down to 147 to fight Earl Spence. But so far, Kell Brook has beaten Sean Porter at welterweight, which is 147, and he lost to Errol Spence at welterweight, which is 147. So again, Kell Brook is really a super welterweight. He likes to fight at 154, but he's gonna go down to welterweight for this fight, which is 147, where Terrence is the champion. And sometimes you would think that the bigger natural fighter, the bigger, stronger guy has the advantage, but I give the advantage to Crawford. Crawford is a big welterweight. He's not a small one. Like when you look at the tail of the tape, look at his reach. Their height is basically the same, but Crawford has a nice reach advantage over Kell Brook. Let me go to the chat real quick. Son of Apollo, what up? John, what up? Great. He says, great show. All right. Jerome Lewis says, Brook will show everyone. Bud, not really like that, bruh. Jerome Lewis, I think you're absolutely wrong for that. Like, I don't give Kell Brook any chance at winning this. I think that this is going to be a landslide victory for Crawford. And I actually think this was a disappointment, just the setting up of this fight, because if Terrence Crawford is considered one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, he should be fighting somebody of a higher caliber than Kell Brook. Kell Brook is nowhere near in the top pound-for-pound fighters of the world. He's not even in the top 5 welterweights in the world right now. So why is Terrence Crawford taking an easy match like this? That's what Sean Porter thought too, bro. You're right, Jerome, because Sean Porter thought he was going to run through Kell Brook, and Porter was sadly mistaken. But see, the difference in Kell Brook fighting Sean Porter is he had the height advantage and the reach advantage over Sean Porter. But in this fight, when he faces somebody that has a longer reach than him, that's when Kell Brook really struggles. And he's fighting somebody that's a stronger puncher. If we look at the analytics, it tells us he's a little more powerful puncher because he has a higher KO percentage when you look at the amount of fights they had. And he's also a more skilled fighter than Kell Brook. And he's also faster than Kell Brook. Crawford is faster, has the longer reach. He's fighting in his precise weight class because Kell Brook is really a super welterweight. And he's the more skilled boxer. All right, let me see exactly. This is from Kimmy. She says, exactly, it will surely be one-sided fight. Terrence is an elite level. Yep, can't say the same about Brook. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Kimmy. Because Kell Brook versus Sean Porter was a good fight. That almost could have went either way. I did give it to Kell Brook. But against Errol Spence, like Errol Spence showed that Kell Brook is not on the elite level. Crawford's chin won't hold up, my G. Kell is a smarter fighter. First of all, Kell Brook hasn't knocked anybody out lately. I think it's going to be a KO by Terrence Crawford, but I think it's going to be from the 7th round later because Amir Khan lasted 6 rounds against Terrence Crawford, and I'm sure Kell Brook does not want to get knocked out faster than Amir Khan. And then Kell Brook is coming off of the Triple G fight and the Errol Spence fight, even though he had a couple fights after that, and he took a punishing. And when he starts getting hit by Terrence Crawford over and over, like, it's going to be all bad. Let me see. Son of Apollo says Crawford's chin won't hold up. Nah, I think it will. Let me see. Jerome Lewis, we will see. I got 100 push-ups that he knocked Bud. Deal or deal. I'm with it. And I'll even go on my IG Live and knock out the push-ups, Jerome. So when Crawford KOs Brook, I want you to come back to this video and show me some love and tell me I was right. Make sure you guys like this video. All right, why would this was one of the reasons I was kind of undecided. The thing that I already knew that Crawford is going to win this fight, and it's not even going to be close. So I already knew that. But the thing that I wanted to know was, would Crawford be able to knock him out? And